What's up, guys? Today we're gonna start a new series here on the channel where we're gonna develop a Spotify clone. I'm gonna try to make different videos about this. I'm gonna also try to make them not as long as I usually make them because it's gonna be easy for you to watch it as well. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so first you will have to install React and Node.js, and if you don't know how to do that, I will put some links down in the comments so you guys can see how to do that. Follow the tutorials and you will be in this starting point right here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to clean this library up a bit, because we don't need all the files in here. So we're gonna delete these three and this one as well. So we're gonna delete those. And we're also gonna clean up this part right here and also remove report web vitals as well. Just like that. And we're gonna remove this header and logo up here. Nice. So when you're done that, get your terminal out, and we're gonna install some dependencies right here. And we're only gonna install React icons. So you type npm I React icons, right? React-icons, just like that. And yep, I'm gonna clear this terminal up so it looks nice and clean, and then we're gonna type npm start to start the client. Okay, so our client has started. Great. So the first thing we want to do is go into the app.js file and import some stuff here. So we're gonna divide this app into three parts, which is going to be left menu, main container, and right menu. So we're going to import left menu just like that from a folder called components, which we haven't created yet. It's going to be a capital Z in the beginning / left. And I'm also gonna do a folder called left menu. So it's gonna be / left menu essentially. Nice. And we're also gonna import a main container just like that from components / main container / main container, just like that. And we're also going to import right menu from / components / right menu / right menu. Nice. And we're also gonna add them to the div, app div. And it's gonna be left menu and tag main container, and we also didn't do the right tag, just like that. And we're also gonna add right menu just like that. And before we hit Ctrl S or save, we want to create these folders and components so we don't get a lot of errors. We're also gonna create div called class name background, just like that. It's gonna be an empty div. And we also want to go into app.css and remove all this as well, and type dot app, and we want the width to be 100%. We want to have a min height, which is going to be covering the whole screen essentially, because it's going to be 100 view height. Also want the position relative, because we're going to use position absolute to the other components as well. And we also want overflow hidden and display flicks. Nice. And now we're going to style the background div. Wait, right. This is gonna have a position absolute, just like that. We're also gonna have a top 0, left 0, right 0, right 0, and bottom 0. We're also gonna add a filter here. It's gonna be a gray filter, gray scale, and it's gonna be 100. And we also want the background to be in the background, so we want to add a index of -1, it's the index of -1. Now I want to create the external or internal folders in this library, so we want to create here a new folder in source called components with a capital C, by the way. Just like that. And in here we want to create 3 different folders. First one should be called left menu. The other should be called main container. And the other one and last one should be called right menu. And in these 3 components we want to create a JSX file called left menu .jsx. Another file in main container called main container.jsx with a capital C as well. JSX, and we also want to create here a file called right menu.jsx. Okay, we have created these, and we're gonna style this differently. We're gonna start with left menu, so I'm just gonna do RFCE here, so we don't just get an error. That's fine. We also want to export this in this way. So we deconstruct it as well, because we deconstruct it in here. We want to do this with all the different components as well, so we don't get an error. We're gonna do RFCE here and decompose this as well. And if we save app.js, I think we shouldn't get too many. Never mind. Okay, so I think I exported it in the wrong way, but that's fine. So if we go to left menu, we want to instead remove all this. We can actually have import React from React, but we want to type in function left menu and then parentheses, just like that, and then we want to just type export left menu, just like that, and 1 error should be gone. Nice. We want to do this with all the different components as well. So we're gonna call this function. This is in right menu, so we call it right menu. Create the function just like that, and here we want to just type export right menu, just like that. Nice. And we also want to do this with the main container. So we're gonna do function main container capital Z. And just export it like this. Nice. Now we're obviously gonna get some errors here because we don't have a return statement, so we're gonna create this return just like that, and then we want to create an empty div and we can type in here main container. So that should be fine. We also want to do this with the rest of the components as well. So we're gonna return. We're gonna create an empty div called this is right menu, so we're gonna call it right menu for the moment. And we want to do this with the left menu as well. So return an empty div with left menu. Nice. That's very good. So now, as you guys can see, in here we don't have any errors, and the different divs we are displaying is in fact displaying. So we're gonna start with creating the left menu, and I think that's gonna be the focus of today's tutorial. So what we wanna do here now is to create another folder called styles, where we're gonna create a file called left menu.css, because here's gonna be the styling for the left menu. We can also collapse these other components because we're not gonna work in them. That's fine. We just like that. And we want to import this style sheet as well. So we want to go out of this folder and the components folder and go into the styles /left menu.css, just like that. We also want to import icons as well, because we installed the dependency that let us import icons. So we're gonna import FA Spotify and FA I can't pronounce that. Ellipse, just like that. From React icons /FA, and I think that's not gonna give us an error, right? No. And we also want to import another icon called BI search alt. If that's correct, that should be correct. Nice. From React icons /BI. This is not going to give us an error, right? No, never mind. And we also want to create in the left menu folder 3 other components as well. And this is going to be called, the first one is going to be called just menu with not an arrow. We also want to create a component called menu list, so JSX, and also another component called menu playlist as well, with capital P, playlist with capital L as well, so JSX, that. And we're gonna import these as well. So we're gonna import brackets as well, and we're gonna get some errors here because we haven't really fixed the code in these components, but we're gonna do that. Menu import menu lists as well from /menu list. There we go. And we want to import brackets menu playlist as well from there we go. Nice. And we're also gonna create these components before we even, so if I hit Control S here, we're gonna get some errors. That's fine. Actually, we didn't get errors. Okay, interesting. But anyways, so we're gonna first go into these components we just created and do some coding there as well. So in the menu component, we can remove this so we have it all organized and looking good. So first we want to import React, comma, and use effect as well from React. Just like that. We also want to import the style sheet which we created before. So we're gonna go into the styles folder and called leftmenu.css, and that should be fine. Now we want to create a function called menu, which is going to take in some parameters, which is going to be called title and list object. And we also want to export this component for function as well. So we're going to type export and then brackets menu, just like that. That should be fine. So we're also gonna do a return statement as we did before with an empty div called menu at the moment. We're gonna change this later. It should be fine. And if we reload the page, it's fine because we haven't really added the components to left menu yet, but that's all right. So the first thing we want to do is use effect, and I can just hit tab here and we will get a use effect function. Now we're gonna create a const here called Ali, which is equal to document, and I'm gonna go down here. I can actually do it here. Query. This is some just basic JavaScript here. Menu container. We're not gonna get an error. Perfect. It's query selector again, and we want to have all here as well. So we're gonna query selector all. I'm gonna type li in here. That's great. We're also gonna create a function in the use effect function. So we're gonna type function change menu active, just like this. And in here we're gonna have leave the columns we just created and type for each. So we're gonna loop this. N is gonna be the individual item we're gonna loop over, called n.class list dot remove active. And then we're gonna type this dot class list dot add active, just like that. And I think that's function. Very nice. And after that we're gonna type go to the const we just created and loop it again. We're gonna type n. It doesn't really matter what type of variable you have in here. It can be e or whatever. N.add event listener. So we're gonna add an event listener. First we want to do an arrow function. Let's add event listener, and it's gonna be click event, and we're gonna call this function up here. So we can just type just like that. I think we actually don't want to have this print. That's easier. That should be our use effect. Nice. Nice. So that's all there is. Now we're gonna create a class name to this div called class name, and it's gonna be menu container. We're gonna style this later. I probably don't want to style it today because it's gonna take too much time to style all this today. But I'm gonna try to at least create the layout first. And in here we want to say if we have a list object, which I typed right, nice. And so if we have a list object, then we will essentially map all the items in it. And they're gonna be LE, just like this. And here is gonna be LE. It's gonna have a key as well. And we're gonna just type le.key or ID actually. Then end here, and then we're gonna have a href with an hashtag, which is not gonna be linked to any link whatsoever. We also need an alt, I think. We're gonna type link. It doesn't really matter. Nice. And in here we're also gonna have an icon. I think I can just do le.icon here because we're gonna create this list. Then we're gonna span and just type le.name. End of that. That should be all for menu, I guess. So we're done with menu. Let's go back to left menu and see what we want to do next. So menu is done. We want to do menu list. So we're gonna go to menu list here and essentially just create the list of all the different components in the menu list, or buttons, I guess you can call it. So first we want to import some icons here. It's gonna deconstruct that and import bs fill house fill, and also bs journal album. I think I typed that right. From React icons as well, /bs. Let's see if this is compiling. Okay. Yep, nice. We're also gonna import another icon from a different part of the library, bi pulse, and this is gonna be from React icons /bi. Nice. And we're also gonna import some font awesome icons as well. So we're gonna type FA broadcast tower and FA microphone alt, and also FA podcast so like that from React icons slash FA. Nice. Now we're gonna create the list itself. So we're gonna make const called menu list, just like this, equal to square brackets because it's gonna be a list. And here we want to add some items. So we do brackets, and now we're gonna add some different values to these items. And we're gonna have an icon here of BS fill house fill. I think it got that right. I did, nice. And the name of this is gonna be home. Nice. And we have in total of 6 different items. So we're gonna use this. So this is gonna have an ID of 2. The icon is gonna be BI pulse, and the name is gonna be discovered. And then we're gonna create another item with an ID of 3, and the icon is gonna be FA broadcasts, just like that, and the name is gonna be probably broadcast. It's gonna be radio actually. Then we're gonna create another item with the ID of 4. And this is gonna have an icon of FA microphone alt, FA microphone alt exactly, and the name is gonna be artist. So like that, very nice. And then we're gonna have another item which is gonna have an ID of 5, and the icon is gonna be BS journal album, which is gonna be done. Nice. And we also need to have a comma here, otherwise we will get an error. And this is gonna be albums, just like that. And the last item is gonna have an ID of 6, and the icon is gonna be FA podcast. And the name is obviously gonna be podcast. Nice. So we just create that, and we also have to export this menu as well. And this. So we're gonna export this, and how do we do it? We just type export brackets, and I think I typed menu list wrong. It's why it's gonna be U. Menu list. Nice. So that's menu list. We have to now go to menu playlist as well. So we're gonna do that. And in here we're gonna import React from React. We're also gonna import the style we did create before. Component, no, styles, it's gonna be styles. Slash left menu dot css. We're also gonna import some icons here, so we're gonna import FA plus from React icons slash FA. We also want to import some other icons as well. So we're gonna be BS music. Yeah, BS music note list, and also BS trash. So bullshit trash. Never mind. React slash React icons slash BS Nice, and we're gonna also import component called playlists, and I think we have to create that as well. From dot slash, oh, we have to have the string dot slash playlist. Nice. We also, now we're gonna have our playlist is not created, so we're gonna create that as well. So we're gonna go into left menu folder and create a new component called playlist of JSX. And now the error should be gone. Nice. Yep, that should be working. I think we're actually gonna go to playlist and just create that as well. And the only thing we're gonna do here is just create a const. This is called playlist equal to not brackets. We're gonna have square brackets and create some items in here. So we're gonna id of 1, and the name is in here is gonna be top hit 2023 in USA. It doesn't really matter. You can type Russia or whatever. I don't know, China. It doesn't matter. You're gonna add another item with an ID of 2 and the name equal to relaxing music. You can obviously decide for yourself what the name of these plays is gonna be. But I think this is fine, and you guys can follow along with that as well. Nice, and we're gonna have an item here and ID of 3, and the name is gonna be actually this is gonna be dance instead. Sorry guys, dance. This is gonna be relaxing music. Just like that. Nice. And we're gonna create another item with an ID of 4, and this name is gonna be equal to instrumentals. Instrumentals, just like that. A comma here. We actually don't need that. And we're gonna create the 5th element with an ID of 5, and this is gonna be name of hip hop, for example. Like it's different genres in the music industry. You guys can name this whatever you want. It's up to you. Create another item of ID 6 and a name of workout music, for example. You can type dance music or programming music, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And we're gonna export this playlist as well. And I think I named this playlist with a capital L, so we're gonna do that. Nice. Okay, so playlist is done. Let's go back to menu playlist. So what we want to do here is create a function. Just like that, called menu playlist. Just like that, and we're also gonna export it. Menu playlist, just like that. I typed something wrong. Nice, very nice. And in here we're gonna have a return statement. Return with not brackets, but with parentheses. Create a div with a class name called playlist container with a capital C. Container. And in here we also want to create a new div with class name container. And in here we want to actually have a p tag that says playlists, just like that, and also the icon of FA plus, and it's gonna be plus, just like that. Nice, and that's that container done. So we should go to the playlist container with a class name of playlists scroll, just like that, and Yeah. In here we want to essentially loop the playlist we just created. So we want to do, and here, so if playlist is in fact active, we can just type playlist.map, and this is going to be a list. It could be item, it doesn't really matter, and parentheses, not a div though. We want to create a div with a class name of playlists. So that. This is gonna have a key of list.id. Add and tag here, just like that. We don't have any errors, great. And here we want to have an icon, so we can actually just do this instead. Never mind, we want an icon here. Just kidding, guys. Equal to icon or list, I mean. And in here we want to have BS music note lists. So that, and beneath the I, we want to have a p tag with a list name. So we type brackets dot list name, just like that. And we also want to add another icon here as well. That's gonna be called trash. And in here we're gonna have a BS trash. And that's for the menu playlist. So menu playlist is done. Now we can go to left menu again, and also import another component which we have to create. We want to import another component called track lists. Track lists from dot slash track lists, and we're obviously gonna get an error here because we haven't created that file yet. You guys can see that on the screen. That's alright. And in here we want to create a new file called track list, and we're also gonna go and edit that file as well. The component. Just like that. Now the error should be here. That's alright. And in track list we just want to import React from React. Yep, and we also want to import the style we created before. It's gonna be styles slash left menu dot css. Nice. And in here we want to also import some icons. BS fill volume with a not W, with a simple volume up fill, and also BS music note list as well, and it's gonna be E here. Nice. From React icons slash BS, and we also want to import another icon called FA desktop from React icons slash FA. Nice. So in here we want to also create a function called track lists with some parameters called track name and also artist name. Nice. And we want to create this function and also export it as export default just like that, and call it track list. Nice. And in here we want to create a div, but first we have to create a return statement so we can return some HTML. Div class name track lists. This is gonna be our track list, and div class name, and this is gonna be called top. And in here we want to create an image source. Oh yeah, I forgot to import that. We're gonna import it soon. track, and yeah, that's that. We're gonna have an alt here, doesn't matter, track, doesn't matter. And we're also gonna import this image, track from we also want to create another folder outside of the components. It's gonna do images, just like that. And here we want to also add an image, and I'm gonna go and get that image. You guys can download it from the GitHub. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find it. Yeah, so you guys can find this image in the GitHub repository, which I will be posting in the comments. It's up to you if you want this image or not. But anyways, so as you guys can see, we have created a image folder, and I just put the track PNG file in there, and we're gonna import it. So let's do the images / track.png. Nice. That's all right. That's fine. Yeah, and in here as well, we want to create a p tag as well, which should have the track name and span inside of it. Yep, span, which should be the artist name. Nice. Okay, so outside of this top div, we want to create another div called bottom. And in here we want to have an icon of BS fill volume up fill, just like that. And we're also gonna have an input. And this is essentially gonna be our scroll bar for adjusting the volume. It's gonna be a type of range. And we can just have an end tag here, and beneath this we're also gonna have an icon as well called BS music note lists. And beneath this icon we're also gonna have FA desktop. Nice, and now that tracklist is done, so we're gonna go back into left menu and essentially start to create this menu here. And I think everything is imported correctly. I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, nice. Okay, so in here we want to have a div called with a class name of left menu, and we will remove this text as well. And in here we're gonna have a div with a class name. Before we actually do this, I will in fact go to app.js and oh, never mind. We have already done that. That's great. So we just want to create another div here and call this logo container, and it's gonna have an end tag, and in this we're gonna have a container called logo, or a div called logo, with an icon of FA Spotify, and it's gonna have a color of this is a hexadecimal color, so just follow along. 00D F0D. Let's see if this pops up in the. Yeah, it pops up. Very nice. Great. Wait, I haven't started the background yet. I did, but I think I did forget the color, right? If we go to the app.css file and look up background, we should also have a background color here as well. Yeah, this is gonna be we're having a background color, background color of black. You can type black, right? Nice. And the background size is also gonna be cover. So if you check now, this should be black background. I didn't do anything wrong here. Oh, it's a capital B. We shouldn't have that. Should be nice. Okay, now it's black. Great. So let's go back. Sorry about that, guys, but we should go back to left menu right now. That was a bit confusing, but I hope you guys followed along and thought it was okay. So here we're gonna add an H2 tag called Spotify. Yep, and down beneath the logo div, I think. Yeah, we're gonna have another icon called FA elliptish. Just like that. I think I typed elliptish, FA elliptish wrong. Yeah, nice. And we're also gonna have this guy right here. Nice, that should be fine. I'm actually gonna go back and turn the background color to white, just so you guys can see what's happening right now. But it should not be right at the end. So as you guys can see, we have the icon, we have the Spotify H2 tag, and also the other icon, which is FA elliptish as well. So that's great. Beneath this logo container div, we are going to create a div called with a class name of search box as well. So we're gonna create a search, and in here we're gonna create an input with a type of text, and the placeholder is gonna be search just with 3 dots, just like that, and an end tag here, and we have a search as well. That's great. And in the search as well, we want to add another icon as well. So we're gonna do BI search alt. Nice, just like that. As you guys can see, search icon just popped up, and that's exactly what we want. You guys can see it here. And beneath this, we also want to add our menu component, and the title is gonna be of the menu, and the list object is gonna be equal to menu list. It should be this guy here. Nice. Add an end tag to that and see what happens now. Here we have a menu. It's all right. And if we go to the component menu, as you guys can see, that's menu list. Never mind. Here we just loop the list object which we inputted. So that's all right. And in here we're gonna add another component which we created before, and this is gonna be menu playlists, which I didn't spell right. Just like that. And menu playlist was not found in .menu playlist. It's probably because we exported it in the wrong way. Let's see. Oh, this is actually gonna be called menu list. I just did go into the wrong folder, so that should be fine. But in menu playlist, it's gonna be here. Okay, so we exported it right, but I know what's wrong. If we go to left menu, this is not gonna be a Y. It's gonna be this is gonna be a Y, but this is gonna be a U here, just like that. It's not menu playlist is not defined. That's all right, because we want to paste it down here. Nice. Now we have the whole playlist essentially, and that's exactly what we want. Let's go back to play menu and also add a track list as well. track lists, and this is gonna have a track name of Take On Me, for example. It doesn't really matter, I think. And the artist name is gonna be Remix, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I think that should be working. Yeah. And here we go. We haven't obviously styled everything yet, so it looks super funny and weird. But that's probably something we will do in the next tutorial, because this tutorial is already long enough. So yeah, I will end that tutorial here. So if you guys enjoy this tutorial and want to carry on with this type of project, I will post more of these kind of videos and make a playlist on YouTube so you guys can essentially create your own Spotify clone. But that's all for today, and thank you for watching, and I hope you guys having a great day.